me being a lead, sometimes the way that you present yourself to your helper or helpers, or even just another lead, sometimes they take that from you and they'll adopt that into their entire day. I think be more effective to your environment than your environment is effective to you.
What's going on, everybody? It's a beautiful Monday morning. We're here with Off the Clock Podcast, episode 14. And we got a very special guest. One of the longest running 5-star home services employees, I believe, on the roster. Our beloved HVAC installer, Chris Miller. What's going on, Chris?
Not a whole lot. Just trying to get to work.
Just trying to get to work. He is trying to get to work. And I stopped him before the job. I was like, hey, you got 15 minutes for a podcast? And here we are. Chris, I got to ask, as a little icebreaker, I believe we share something common that we like video games.
Sure.
What video game are you currently playing right now?
Just kind of anything. Right now I'm just playing on Game Pass. So they just have a lot of different games on there. So.
Okay. Are you a Nintendo fan? Are you getting the Switch too?
No.
Not interested?
No. It's just mostly I went from doing console to PC. So most of the stuff is on PC. Game Pass is just a way to just play it over cloud instead of having to, keep up with the PC prices and everything.
Absolutely. Game Pass is a pretty good deal too. And now that Xbox is going to be releasing their handheld, I don't know, did you see that? It's a kind of a Switch competitor, but you'll still play on Game Pass. Yeah. Okay. Did you play much Halo Infinite?
I did not.
I did not.
No, it's available on Game Pass, but I didn't.
So
I didn't really jump on the bandwagon with that one.
So, if you would say like one game you're just a beast at, what game would that be?
It's kind of waxed and waned over the years. Back when I used to play console, I would probably say Modern Warfare 2, the original one.
Okay.
But after I think Black Ops, I stopped playing console and just work.
Yeah. Life hits you into your 30s where the video games has to take a pause. I get it. Well, we'll get right into it, Chris. So can you share a little bit about your journey, what led you into the HVAC industry and what brought you to 5-star? Or at that point, was it Pickerington Heating and Cooling still? Or?
Yeah, it was still Pickerington at the time.
Okay.
I think after I got out of school, I spent a little time with a painter while looking for other jobs. And I got on with Kessler. They were a commercial thing. They did, I think they did Gianni Homes. They probably still do. But was with them for about 9 months. And, I ended up looking for other employment. So when they got slow, they just they started just letting people go at that point. So that's just how it goes sometimes.
Sure.
Which, it was just a thing. So whatever. But with Pickerington, got on with them. Was working in the warehouse for a little while, and then I got on with the service department.
Yeah,
and then I worked my way doing that and stuff, and then they ended up having me come back over to install.
What year was this?
I don't even remember at this point. But it was probably at least like 9 years ago.
9 years ago. Okay. Yeah, I know. As far as seniority is, you have probably the highest rank out of at least most of the field staff, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I've just been kind of dabbled in each of the things. We used to have a commercial department, but doing that is very, drop the hat. Hey, my cooler's not working. You need to get out here and fix it before all my food goes to waste.
Yeah,
we used to have that, but we I think we only have like a couple of contracts maybe anymore that do big, humongous units.
Yeah.
But doing that like split second, I think we had like 1 or 2 guys that were capable of doing that. And then that just so that's like the only thing that I would really like to get into that we don't have. So
is commercial.
Yeah.
Okay, you heard it first, leadership. Chris is requesting a whole new division of HVAC commercial.
Yeah, just more training in general. There's a lot of different branches to HVAC, and being able to do all of those things, or at least have like a general knowledge of them, I think would be very beneficial.
Yeah, that's great. Coming from someone who's been in the field for a long time, has been with the company, I think that's valuable wisdom. So we appreciate that, Chris. So next question, and I know this might sound like the cliche podcast question, but this this question kind of helps shape who we are today, how our careers have been, our lives. Who has been a hero or a significant role model in your life that has influenced you professionally, personally, and has helped shape who Chris is today?
So I mean, I don't think I really necessarily have any heroes that I can think of off the top of my head. As far as like relationship wise, people I've been in direct contact with, like family members, probably my mother. She's very, very kind, very sweet. I, I mean, without getting too far into it, she's mom.
Yeah,
So.
She's mom. Do you have any kind of mentors along the way that you've met through your HVAC career that has kind of helped you show you the ropes?
Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty, countless people who I remember their faces but don't remember their names.
Touche.
There's been people who have been, I would say, probably been here like a year that have been doing things a certain way under somebody else, and then I've worked with for like a couple jobs, and I've learned stuff from them. There's always, obviously you have to compare that to the way that you do things and, what the end result is. But sometimes having those other techniques is very, very handy.
Yeah.
And, you just kind of have to humble yourself and be like, oh, he's only been doing this a year. What could he know? But, you'd be amazed at some of the interesting ways of doing things, as long as they're not illegal.
As long as
or dangerous.
As long as they're not illegal or dangerous.
Right.
We're not touching those two. Yes. That's a good answer, Chris. So Chris, can you look back at your life at any type of challenges or hardships that you may have faced, difficult times that have helped you persevere and strengthen yourself within your career? This could be professionally or personally.
I think overcoming just customers and just being able to read a circumstance or a situation that's going on. When you walk in a home, everybody is different.
Yeah.
Every single person is different. And their home is very different. Their system has its own personality. Sometimes you fix things that exactly what the problem is, and that's exactly what's happening. You go to the next house next door, same model, same everything, same problem, different answer. It's weird. So,
yeah.
But probably reading customers is diagnosing a customer is sometimes the hardest thing to do. So.
He said diagnosing a customer.
And it's not that,
it's
not that they're a problem to solve necessarily, but sometimes if you have to work in their house for several hours, being able to, not aggravate them, or make sure that if they are aggravated by something that, just understand that you just happen to be the person they're venting in front of, and, just don't take it personally.
Wow. We could get really deep a second, because like if you think about it, like diagnosing like a full HVAC system, like when it's broken, you can figure out why it's broken fairly quickly. Each system is essentially the same system. It's an HVAC system. So, but when a customer is broken, emotionally, personally, whatever they're dealing with in their life, there is so much more complexity, and you have to be able to read that and emphasize that and truly understand kind of what they're dealing with, and to be able to give them the best service possible. So Chris, you're an HVAC installer. You have hobbies outside of work as well. What motivates you every single day? What's a hope or dream you have in your career or personal life?
I mean, right now it's difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
I would say, being able to, afford a home and being able to do that.
That is the dream, right?
Yeah. I mean, it may or may not be in Ohio, maybe another place.
Sure.
I've always wanted to, like, me personally, I'm adopted. So I would like to go back to the island my birth mother was from, to be able to, I don't know, just kind of look at that. I have
what island
tapes.
is that?
Oh, it's the Federated States of Micronesia. It's an island called Ponape.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So you're maybe kind of a goal would be to actually not just visit where you're from, but also live. And
Possibly.
yeah,
Possibly.
I think that's really cool. We just launched a new brand, new website. You've probably heard at some of our company meetings, some of our core values. And one of the core values that really resonates to me is relentless. And I think relentless really describes a lot of our team here at 5-Star. If you could share one piece of advice or inspiration with everybody watching at home, our internal team, people on social media, what would it be around the word relentless?
Yeah, I think it's easy to get overwhelmed, especially when you're newer and stuff. And I know, me being a lead, sometimes the way that you present yourself to your helper or helpers, or even just another lead, sometimes they take that from you and they'll adopt that into their entire day. So if you're having a bad day, you might end up, unfortunately, giving that to the person you're working with, or
Sure.
even the customer. And sometimes the customer can have that effect on that. So just, I think, be more effective to your environment than your environment is effective to you. So, it's easy to just get angry and upset. And, when something doesn't go right, you didn't quite get the pictures that were necessary to do your job correctly, or something was ordered incorrectly, or you forgot something. Just be humble and just like, hey, I made a mistake. We're going to have to do this, this, and this to make it right, and, carry on. It's that, I guess, just being relentless about trying to get the job done as much as it can get done that day. Because we're trying to do installs one day, not having to come back, which, super beneficial for the next day when I have to go do the same thing all over again. So, but, if you're a helper, if your lead's having a hard time, just bear with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Patience, and just know, like, every job is not going to be perfect, and you never know what hiccups are going to be along the road, but hang in there and be a team. Chris, final question of the interview. And this is a fun one. This is how we like to kind of end these podcasts. What is an interesting fact, hidden talent, anything that you'd like to share with the group that people might not know about you?
On the spot, I'm not sure. I don't really fancy myself to have super talents. I like to make jokes, have fun. I enjoy pretty much all kinds of food.
Okay.
Not really hidden, but
what's the perfect dish for you?
The perfect dish? I like a lot of seafood.
Okay, seafood.
So it's funny. I don't really care for crab all that much, but I do like seafood, mostly fish.
I love fish.
Yeah.
It's good, nice salmon fillet, grilled. It's perfect with some butter. Awesome. Well, Chris, hey, thank you so much for joining us today. It was so good to get to know you better. And everybody, this is episode 14 Off the Clock podcast. We have a lot of awesome guests planned for the future. So stay tuned and have a great day.